Hello, hello, hello. It is Thursday, January 19th, 2023, and three of us are gathered here once again on a Thursday night to discuss the Challenge 38, Ride or Dies. This time we're talking about episode 15, the most recent episode of the season, episode 15. I like them. I like the miming there. I like it.
Thank you.
If you're audio only, you really miss out.
I know, you really are missing out. This was a good episode, though. We started with an elimination. We ended with an elimination. It was very exciting. I actually thought that this was a pretty straightforward episode, though. So, I guess we can kick this thing off, right? Let's dive
on in. Yeah.
Hello again. Okay, Gina, see, this is why you need to start logging in like Kyle and I do, because the whole time that the theme is going on, me and him are just making faces at each other and
I'm missing
around.
all of it.
So yeah, you really do miss a lot, honestly. But anyway, hello again, everybody. My name is John Dunphy. I'm joined, as always, by two really great ride or dies, Mr. Kyle Petty and Miss Gina Morgino. And together we make up Strat Chat, your favorite reality TV podcast. What is that, Kyle? I'm sorry. That I actually did not
mean. Caught off guard.
Presumptuous. We know. I was prepared to mime it.
So,
you gave him no warning whatsoever.
It made me waste a really good hit. So
what's funny is that it was not intentional. It really wasn't. But then as soon as I went, Kyle, and your mouth opened and all the smoke started coming out, I was like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry.
I have made another
reason.
I tried to wear it out. I tried, and nobody saved me. I said, "Now it's going to be like this." Okay.
This is yet another reason. Another reason in the first 3 minutes of this stream why, if you're audio only, you're missing out.
So half the story.
Yes. Now, if you want to find us on the socials, you can do so at StratChatPod. Check us out on places like Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. Or you can go to our website. Yeah, our website too is very nice. Kyle's newly updated it and everything. So that's www.stratchatpod.com.
Yeah, come join us on Twitter, because last night we had a time. Did we have a time?
Yeah, you were live tweeting up a storm.
Yeah, I had a nice time.
Had some polls going.
We did have some polls going. Got I don't know what the pulse of the community is. All right.
Yeah.
Get out there, see what the people think.
Yeah. Got to get down on the street, get out there, talking to the people.
Pound the pavement, as they say.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
With the clipboard in hand. Yeah.
What is happening? All right.
Stupider.
I know, but that's perfect. That's us. We're fun. We're idiots. We're fun idiots.
Aren't we all?
So let's get into this episode, right? So we picked up Fessy and Moriah had just won the first part of this sort of double elimination thing that they were doing. That started out with the three-part, or should I say three-way elimination, where there were three teams competing in that Don't Let Me Down challenge with the ramps and the big cylinders. Fessy and Moriah took that home, which then meant that now Kayce and Kenny would have to compete against Aneesa and Jordan, and only one pair was going to get back into the house. And we got a classic for this. We got one that I always love to see. This will always be one of my favorites. Not so fast.
Yeah.
And I think for me in this challenge, I don't think that we even need to describe. I mean, do you want to do the miming, Kyle? Do we even need to describe it? I feel like we've talked about Not So Fast like 3 times
we've talked about
in
it
the
now.
last like 2 months.
If you know the challenge, you know Not
yeah.
So Fast.
Yeah. What do you guys think? I think experience definitely took the day here. Obviously, Kayce's got some experience, but
experience took the day. But I still say that I don't think that Kayce and Kenny were automatic outs in a situation like this. Because their size certainly gave them a leg up. Certainly made them a lot more nimble than Aneesa. She had some problems. Her cooch getting slammed.
Oh God!
Yeah, so she had some problems. we didn't see that. We didn't see those issues on the other side.
Right.
So they definitely did have a leg up there. So this wasn't an automatic out for me. So I still found this. Exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. It
wasn't the quick sweep I expected.
Right.
Yeah.
What did you think of Jordan? And Aneesa. Obviously, we know Jordan's like a beast. But just the way he was just pushing, Aneesa, every time that she would like kind of hesitate or stop or say, I need a second, there's no seconds, there's no stopping. We have to do this. There's no can't. You can. What did you think of Jordan in this moment? I actually I thought he was being a very good leader.
You did, huh?
Oh, I take it you didn't.
Well, I came to think that is not what would motivate me. You speaking to me that roughly would not get me to do anything. That would actually demotivate me.
I don't think that it would work well for me either. But I think that is like very true to the way that they have been working with each other. Because I feel like we've seen them both behave that way with each other a couple of times this season.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. So that's kind of where I was going. Like my initial thoughts were, "Ooh, yuck! I don't like this. This is terrible for me." But then, when Aneesa's thoughts at the end about how that is what really propelled her forward, gave her the confidence to kind of push on. It's like, oh, okay, well, this works for you. So that's your style. So then I came around.
Sure.
It just would not work for me.
I totally agree. I see that, and I could agree that like even during the competition itself, like before we started to see Aneesa's thoughts on it, like I could totally say that like I was a little bit like Jordan. This might be a little too much.
Yeah, I cringed. Yeah.
I can see them being the type of pair, like the type of ride or die pair that like if they were gonna like talk, all right, let's talk our strategy, let's talk our gameplay. I could see them being the type of pair though that's like if one of us is slacking, the other one has to just ream into them and just get us back on track. I could see them having that sort of conversation. Yeah. So I don't know.
No, it works for them. I thought. Yeah. I ended up thinking it was great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Aneesa and Jordan took it. They're back in the game. Sadly, this means that Kayce and Kenny are eliminated. So Gina and my winner picks are both now out of the race. Kyle's the only one with his 2 winner picks still in there.
It's so funny too, because I mean, if you're listening to this, you've already seen it. But like, I almost didn't have Kayce and Kenny as my winner picks. I almost had other winner picks who also went home today. So this is just a bad episode for me all around.
Regardless, in episode 15, Gina was going to fall.
This is going to be it for me, no matter what.
Wow. That is pretty wild. That's funny. Wow. Oh my God. But you know what's actually wild about this too is that because Kayce and Kenny came into the game, had to leave because of COVID, then they came back. Then Kenny was eliminated. Then had another chance. Now they're eliminated. Kenny was actually eliminated from this game 3 times.
Hasn't he had enough?
Like, he was so unprepared for this.
Can I go home, please?
I have a family. I want to go back. I'm not even playing the game anymore. I'm just sitting in a hotel room. I want to go home.
My sister's over there still playing the game.
It's like Kayce almost did him dirty by even inviting him on the season. Like he was not ready.
No. I don't think he's built to this world. No, the poor dear.
Yeah.
Can we just remember episode 15, by the way? Let's just make that a thing. Let's just see if Gina makes it to episode 15 and Big B can.
Okay.
Oh, is that my marker? Episode 15?
I don't know. This just gives us something else to talk about down the road. Episode 15. 1-5. Just remember, guys. I will.
Sure.
Okay. 1-5. I think I see Gina writing over there. So
of course.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna clip
Our,
it so we really know.
Our official record keeper. Okay, so Kayce is leaving the game. Obviously, Nany is very upset about this. Sad to see Kayce go. So her and Kayce had a fairly emotional goodbye. Now, there was a lot of like talk, I felt like, between especially like Devin and Bananas about like now, like, oh, what is Nany gonna do? She's gonna fall apart. This is gonna be terrible for Nany. What did you think of this? I felt like, is this just them being like, oh, it's an emotional woman, and now it's her girlfriend's gone, so now she's gonna fall apart. It felt very like condescending to me. Like
Nany was
Nany's been playing this
already
game for a long time. Like she's gonna be
Nany
all
was
right.
already playing this game without Kayce this season. Like, well, what does it matter? Like, yeah, it sucks. It's sad to lose your person. Sure. That doesn't
but
mean
let's
that she's
not act like
immediately going to
that's all
completely lose
Nany's
sight
got.
of the game. Right.
That's not all Nany is. It's not just
Not
Kayce.
to mention, like, she's been playing this game since before Kayce even got here. Like, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't a big deal, but it kind of bothered me. Just like
it's dumb.
Like, yeah, I don't know. And like it almost felt like the way that Devin was like talking about it was that he was like, oh, this might be bad for Nany now. This could be bad for Bananas and Nany. This is an opportunity. And it's just like, just shut up for a second, man.
Well, I mean, not for nothing. Devin kind of pissed me off a couple of times this episode.
Oh yeah, me too. I tweeted
I've been
about it. I
making
tweeted
faces
about him
the past couple of weeks. I'm not on the
Yeah.
Devin train. No.
Yeah.
No, I threw my ticket away.
I will say Bananas was very nice. He was very nice with Nany, I think, later on. They kind of had a nice talk, like just the two of them, that I thought was pretty nice. But in this moment, I thought he kind of made a comment about being worried about like Nany's going to fall apart, and then Devin making that comment. And I was like, what? Why is everybody so like she's been doing this a long time. She's made a living out of this. Like she's
like,
going to be
as if
okay.
all she ever had in this game was Kayce.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How dare you? How dare you?
But yeah,
it's
so
also
that
worth
was
noting before we move on.
Sorry.
I just wanted to go back to that little poll that we had thrown up on the Twitter. For those people who don't follow us there, we did ask the people what they thought about who was going to go home in that first elimination, and everybody guessed it right. That's worth noting. Way to go, community!
Was it 100%?
Well, 71%.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not bad.
Not at all.
Not bad at all. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all.
No, I'm glad that you're bringing up the polls. I do.
No,
we need to do more of this stuff. We need more.
Oh, I did also tweet. Shut up, Devin. She'll be fine.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I guess I did find that impactful last night. I don't remember it now because I feel like there were so many other things that happened. Are you going to bring up Fessy Moriah?
Do you want me to? I do have a note about it here. I actually was going to ask. So now between this elimination and then the daily challenge, right? As we move on. In between there, we had the challenges returning to the house. We had some conversations, including the Banani one I brought up. But I did also make a note about the Fessy and Moriah conversation. So what do you got?
Well, my issue here was that once again, this edit did not do my boy Fessy correct. Okay. and see, yeah, you're going to start making me call him my boy, even though he isn't really, but you're forcing me to that side because you're intentionally trying to force me otherwise.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Moriah was going on. She goes, oh, I just felt like, I felt some kind of way after I left. And he was like, well, I felt some kind of way after you left. And she's like, yeah, well, you know what? I didn't feel like you were backing me up. I was defending you in interrogations. I didn't see you doing that. I didn't hear that. And it's like, well, he wouldn't have heard you doing that, just like you wouldn't have heard him. So what is that? And the edit does not do Fessy any favors, right? Because after she puts that on him and she says, oh, I didn't hear you defending me in an interrogation. It cuts out and he just goes, well, let's just put this all behind us. And it's like, no, I want to know what he said to that. All right. Because you cut that off. All right. What did he say? Mm-hmm. What did he say? Everybody's always trying to make him sound like he's being so messy and everything, but I'm not really remembering any moment where Moriah went so hard for Fessy. All she ever said was, I'm not saying his name. I don't remember any big campaign defending him. She even said herself, well, I had to go with my team, but this is the game. This is the hand I was dealt. It's like, you're contradicting yourself.
Right, like, look, not for nothing. You know that I am far from a Fessy stan.
I
know.
But,
like, if even, like, on the other side, like, she solely is the reason he went into an elimination. based on an
Yes.
assumption that maybe if I tie it up, something bad might happen to my team. You don't know that for a fact. We
She
were
knows
nowhere
nothing. She
near
knows
what
nothing. She's
might
just acts
happen
here.
if there was a tie, but she said, oh, well, whatever. I guess he's going in.
Oh well,
What choice
whatever.
do I
I'm on
have?
this team now. Sorry. And it's like, but then as soon as you get back into the game, after he now helped you get back in it, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now you're going to come back in here with all this stuff to say.
When you were the one that threw him under the bus.
You go
Yeah.
home and then you put him in extra danger. Okay. It's the second time you've endangered this man. And then you're going to tell him what he didn't do behind closed doors. Like, where do you get off? Like, enough now, Moriah. Enough.
I think you're being really harsh on Queen Moriah.
There we go.
Moriah. Oh no.
I actually do. This conversation is actually making me think about something though that I want to ask you guys for real.
Oh yeah, let's go.
So, because like Aneesa and Jordan, we know are not real ride or dies. We've heard all the rumors how they actually got paired up.
False us.
But I think they've worked better together than like a pair like Fessy and Moriah. And I'm so like,
oh, they've been working great together,
right? And like, so are there any other pairs though? Like, would you consider Fessy and Moriah to be like the least ride or die-ish, or is there any are there any other pairs in there that I'm forgetting that like somebody screwed over their own teammate or something like that? You know what I mean? Like, but what's interesting about it too to me is that they're the only.
Hold on. Don't even defend it like that. Are there any other ride or die pairs? Somebody screwed over the other one? I don't.
No, I'm genuinely wondering. I'm wondering.
See, the hard part that I'm having with this is that
screwing.
The hard part that I'm having with this is that this season has been about 6 years long. I don't even remember half of the people that were on this show before now. So, like, maybe, I don't know.
That's also true. I don't remember anyone.
Not that I can remember like this, but
I guess to the question, I guess who's left? No, none of these ride or dies. I don't see any other dysfunction in anyone.
Yeah.
Now, I think that Kenny, I guess he could raise an argument,
Yeah.
If Fessy and Moriah can have this drama, then I think that, Kenny could have a say here.
Yeah, Kayce didn't ride for him at all
she
when he was in the chopping block.
She sure didn't.
Yeah.
But it certainly wasn't so contentious. I think that, I didn't really see it from Kenny that he even really wanted to be there.
Sure.
I'm here because my sister wants to do this and she needs to ride or die, and I love her. So.
And I feel like anytime that we saw him in a confessional too, like he before anybody else would be like, I'm not really for this. I'm trying my best, but like I know that I'm not really gonna do well in this.
No. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. And part of the reason that I was asking about Fessy and Moriah too is that I do think that like they do have like they've had an interesting season. Obviously, a lot of pairs in there, a lot of different individual players have had, but at the end of the day, Fessy and Moriah were the only ride or dies that were put in a position where they had to choose teams among the other ride or die. You know what I mean? Like they have had a little bit of like a different experience than the other ride or die pairs, and like I wonder if maybe they wouldn't have worked great together anyway if they hadn't been those team captains or whatever. But like I also wonder if you would have seen a clearer division between two other ride or dies that were put in that same position of now having to choose, be team captains and choose teams and not be working in a pair anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just curious to see like what would have happened if like Devin and Tori had won that competition. And now you've got Devin who's always looking to make deals and scheme, like, could we see a split, a divide between somebody like Devin and Tori? You know what I mean? Like, I'm wondering how much of that played into like the fact that Fessy and Moriah weren't working that well together when the team split. That's all.
I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah, because you know what? Because if Tori and Devin, if this had been them, that would have been, I think, equally disastrous, if not more so. Because Moriah is not really that big of a rouser. Like, she'll have her little conversation on the bench, like, over there in the side of the yard. But Tori would have been tearing around through there, like, throwing pizza on the walls and stuff, gets carrying on. Like, it really would have been such a mess. Like, so...
I can't even imagine what that would have been like.
Right. And then I think that their fake ride or die ship would have been like brought to the surface as well. Because that's another ride or die one that I felt.
Tori and Devin?
Yeah, that kind of, I felt that was a little left field-ish. I believe they're friends, but like ride or die, I would not have paired them together in that way before this season.
Who would you have put them with?
Well,
Or
that's
would
the
you
problem.
have?
Nobody. And I think that that's why they're there, and that's why we have this, because they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Unless you were going to put Tori with Aneesa, but even that, I don't 100% buy. That was also just because you kind of put them together with the podcast, so now I'm kind of forced to believe that there's something. But I don't remember anything that really stood out to me about the two of them either. But if this is the theme that we want,
I mean, this whole time it's been like throwing me that, you know, Kayce brought her brother, Fessy brought Mariah. I don't know if it was just they needed more teams, so they had to split them up. But like for me, I would have seen Fessy and Kayce being the obvious choice there. And it doesn't make sense to me that they both came in with some like, not to say like random person, but someone who's not of the challenge world, who wasn't really necessarily built for this. You know, it's just that it's been throwing me since the beginning. Why
unless
they
it's
weren't paired
because
together.
if you have Fessy and Kayce paired together, if they both go home, you're losing two big names. This is the future of the challenge.
Yeah, but I feel like that happens in any other team.
But does it? I've already said that I think that Bananas and Nani just keep getting the safe dagger because they're told to. I don't know. Tori and Devin have not been in the sand, have they?
But they've also got deals with literally everybody in the house.
They were once early in
Were
the season.
they?
I think they might have been the ones that like Johnny and Raven threw in. Yeah, Devin and Tori. They were in elimination, but they pulled. They were not safe at the draw. So they were. So they had to go into elimination against Kayla and Sam. And they eliminated Kayla and Sam. This was the very first elimination of the season, but they were not a direct vote. They were at the draw. Khalid and Kim pulled the safe dagger and saved Jack and Laurel, sending Devin and Tori in the first.
That feels like a million years ago.
It does.
I was like,
Jack
and
Kim. Laurel sounds like a completely different season. Colleen and Tim, I thought we were going to be still talking about them at this point. Jeez. Yeah. Sorry. I hope they come back.
Me too. I really like them a lot.
Yeah.
Really like them.
It feels like seasons ago.
I know. But all right. So we went off on a little tangent there. That was fun though. But
that's what happens when you give us Mikey phones. We talk about whatever we want.
That's right. We're adults, We're adults. So today's daily challenge that we'll be talking about was called Runaway Ride, not to be confused with the movie Runaway Bride, starring, what was that, Julia Roberts? Was that Julia Roberts?
Oh,
I'm probably totally wrong about that. I don't know, but it's a fun movie. Check it out.
I don't know it.
But anyway, all right, here we are. Runaway Ride. TJ shows up in this bus that is ripping down this racetrack that's just filled with obstacles and cars swerving all over the place, right? It's just crazy. Now, we saw this competition, this challenge in the Challenge Australia.
We did.
I felt like, I don't know if the bus was swerving more or going faster in this one, but I don't remember seeing people puke in Australia. Do you guys remember this?
I don't remember seeing people puke in Australia either.
Yeah.
This is really disgusting. Like, I really had a hard time with this.
I didn't love this competition before that element was added in. So I was not having a good time.
Right.
I remember Amber in particular took like a very hard smack into the wall. Like, it looked like it was very painful. This seemed more intense to me than the Australia one that we saw.
No, I
don't know
remember
why.
them getting banged up in Australia. I just don't remember people vomiting.
Yeah, because I remember we were really concerned about Kiki's back.
Oh, Kiki's back. Yes. Kiki Morris.
Who will be seeing again in the Global Championship.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
but so yeah, for anybody, I mean, by now, if you're listening to us, you watch the episode. Listening or watching us, you watch the episode, so you know what this was. But basically, it was a bus that was filled with all different types of balls that had different color markings and symbols on them. The players would have to go into this bus and were getting thrown around as this bus just swerved and sped all around this track, avoiding obstacles. And while they were doing this, they had to also look out the windows of the bus for these two signs that I think were around. There might have been more than two. I don't know. There were signs around the track. They had to look for this little, sort of combination of these balls with the different color symbols and markings. And then they had to recreate this key in their own bus by stacking the balls in these columns.
Kyle looks
them in the right order
right now. I cannot deal with this.
Yeah. You got like really into that one, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I tried to give you drama in the face. I tried to give you physicality, comedy.
It really was good. It really was good.
Like, I just want like a gif of what your face looked like in that moment, like for reactions.
we can do that.
It feels necessary.
Yeah. People were having a tough time in here in this. It looked like the two teams that performed the best to me were Horacio and Olivia. Even though I don't know if you guys saw it, I didn't see them ever get like an official. I don't remember them showing on TV like the official count of how many balls correct they had. I don't know if I just missed it. Either. But everybody else, I was able to make a note of. But for some reason, Horacio and Olivia, there was nothing to indicate like how many balls they got in correctly.
I mean, they probably
even
didn't,
TJ
so that,
didn't
like,
say anything later.
No, because then otherwise we would know who won before they announced it or whatever. They probably just kept that one,
Yeah.
Unless they didn't expect, people to be drilling down the episode that deep, and there's some production interference, some manipulation.
I did think it was interesting because going into this, Horacio and Olivia were talking too about how like they've been a great pairing. They won 4 eliminations together, sending people home all season, right? They've been like one of the star rookie pairs.
They've been incredible.
But yeah, they've been great. But one of the things that Horacio mentioned that the two of them together have not won a daily challenge together yet, which was something. And then they've won eliminations. They've come in first or, they've come in like second or third, but they've never actually won the daily challenge outright. They've even been like, if the challenge breaks into 2 heats, they've been the winner of their heat.
Okay.
But we're slightly slower than the other heat or whatever, so, but I just thought it was interesting because we got a lot of talk like that. And then even during the competition itself, you had a lot of the challengers watching being like, wow, Horacio and Olivia, they're doing so well. They're moving so fast. So I just thought it was interesting that we didn't get like any indication of like, did they get 9 out of 10 right? Did they get 10 out of 10 right? But,
what if they were the winners?
I mean, that could be. I assumed it was just to build drama and like, oh, you don't know who it's going to be until we announce it. But I mean, I don't put anything past producers. So
that's what's weird to me because we went to a commercial break. We came back and TJ pretty much told us right off the bat, right away, Banani won this. They got 10 out of 10 correct. But I honestly thought we were coming back from that commercial break and TJ was going to say we had 2 teams get 10 out of 10 correct, but the team that did it faster was, and then we were going to get a revealed winner. Like the fact that like we never got an indication of how many balls Horacio and Olivia got correct. And then we just came back and TJ was like, yeah, Banani's the winner. I just thought it was a little weird. I don't know. I just thought it was a little weird.
Interference.
So.
Kyle said foul play.
I mean, listen, bananas is everything to me. So we're not really going to complain. We're going to do what the Fox News people do. We know it's tilted in our favor, so whatever. Oh well, I'm just gonna look the other way, like whatever. But I know it's wrong,
but I just I thought it was weird because I was able to in real time without pausing. I was clear enough on there. Like Amber and Chauncey got 7 out of 10. Jordan and Aneesa, it said that they only got 1 out of 10, but I don't know what that was about. But then Fessy Moriah said 8 out of 10. I don't know. It's just very weird. Just weird. But we can move on from that. So Banani wins the daily challenge, which puts them in a great position of power here. because TJ now says that they will not be going and just simply interrogating a number of people. They will do an interrogation. But first, they have to choose one team to save to guarantee that they will not be going into elimination. And the deliberation was pretty straightforward. Nani pretty much right away says that she thought they should save Fessy and Moriah. Bananas seemed to agree. Part of that was because they said they knew if Devin and Tori, Devin and Tori would save Aneesa and Jordan. Aneesa and Jordan would save Devin and Tori. Horacio and Olivia would save Fessy and Moriah. So, what did you think of this choice, though? Of saving Fessy and Moriah. Did you think this was the right choice, or did you think they were going to go in a different direction?
I guess it's the right choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who else I would have seen them go with. Like, I didn't really think anything, if that makes sense. Like, there was nothing that jumped out at me of like, oh, they'll probably do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the reasoning made sense to me, but
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But I hadn't really thought about it that much until they said that.
Right. And I don't think it was the wrong decision or the right decision or whatever. I feel like at this point in the game, there's so few pairs left that it's like, whatever you think in your gut is the best decision, just go with it, I guess. But, yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to get your opinions. Now,
well, thank you
for interrogation, though. Of course. Now, for interrogation, Amber and Chauncey came in first, and they made things pretty easy on Banani, didn't they? What did you think about Amber and Chauncey's decision to say, listen, we know that we are probably going in, so let us just go in the proper mind state, like just be prepared that we know we're going in, and we just want to be the direct vote. What did you think of their strategy of volunteering themselves up to be the direct vote?
In a situation where like it's not required to get to a final by going into elimination, I don't see what the benefit is of doing this.
Right. Like, I don't see why you wouldn't.
I remember Amber at one point even saying like, well, it's either going to be us or it's going to be Horacio and Olivia. So, but like, I don't then let it be them. Like, why does it have to be you? I don't understand the purpose of volunteering.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. Like there's no benefit to this. Like, because you want to say, oh, I just want to be in the right mind frame. I want to make sure I'm properly amped up. Well, you can do that anyway and still like fight for yourself, especially Amber. Like, you came from the Big Brother environment. Like, go work something, go try. Like,
right. Like, if there was some kind of like a point system, or like we saw in USA where there was like the money like piece to it, of like you have to earn your way into the final, like going into eliminations. Yeah, I see that being a strategy, but there's no component in this season like that. So I don't see why anybody would be willingly throwing themselves in.
I agree.
I totally agree. If it was me, I would not have volunteered to go in, especially because, and I'll jump ahead a little bit here, right? Briefly. But I think part of their reasoning was we're going in no matter what. Whether we're the direct vote or we go to the draw, we're going in, which clearly was not the case.
Attitude.
It's a defeatist attitude, but also their thinking was probably like, well, even if we go to the draw, we only have a 33% chance of pulling the safe dagger. And if one of the other teams does, they're going to save each other. But what did we see in this draw, in this dagger pull? The other team that they thought that they would be going against, Horacio and Olivia, pulled the safe dagger. So exactly what they probably thought was the impossible chance to get them out of this situation is exactly what happened for Horacio and Olivia. So
yeah.
But even still, like we said it in this podcast, Horacio and Olivia have been performing insanely well. So I don't see why you would have thought that was an easy win for you either, just because you're vets. They're insanely good competitors. I wouldn't want to go up against them.
Right.
Oh, I wouldn't either. Now, I will say this, though. While I don't agree that they made the right decision by volunteering to be the direct vote, I really didn't get like the outrage it seemed to cause for some of these other people.
And this is where Devin really pissed me off. Like, I don't know what the hell that was.
So, and I don't remember everything word for word, but I remember that Banani kind of let them know, Devin and Tori know that Amber and Chauncey had volunteered to be the direct vote. And Devin immediately started going off. He was like, this is just her last ditch attempt, her last effort to try to change the narrative that she's shady and she's this and she's that. It's like, Devin, you're being told that you are not the direct vote. This is good news for you.
But not for nothing.
Why are you so upset?
She's trying to go in as a last-ditch effort to try to change the narrative. Why is that the narrative in the first place?
Right. Exactly.
I don't understand.
It's like,
from what I was seeing, I watched the episode today, so I didn't watch it last night, but I was still mulling about on Twitter last night. Across the board, everybody's like, but why is she shady though? No one is seeing it.
There's never been an actual clear-cut answer or example of Amber's shadiness that's been given or shown to us.
Aneesa made a comment about it too, though. Aneesa said something at some point in this too. They all say it, and I don't understand where it comes from.
Ever seen of any of the cast addressing it was weeks ago. Somebody on Twitter, I don't know if they tweeted at Devin or just tweeted in general about the episode, being like, I don't understand what I'm missing about Amber being shady. And all he said was, there's a lot that isn't shown, period. And I was like, okay, would you care to enlighten me then? Because if we're not being shown it, can you explain it? Because if you can't, there's nothing there.
Yeah. Because if you're not saying anything, then it's all bullshit. Because we've seen people get into full-fledged fights on this show, screaming matches. Dirty laundry gets aired out all the time. So if you can't
if it's not aired, we saw it a couple of seasons back with all of the stuff with Ashley. That wasn't aired, but we heard everybody very openly talking about it because there was something that happened.
Right. If all you can say, if somebody asks you what's the deal with all this Amber hate, and your only response is, well, there's a lot they don't show on camera. I'm sorry, then it's all bullshit.
Then explain it to me. Tell me what I'm not seeing.
Yeah.
Tell me.
I'm sorry.
Too many people are asking you to keep giving that as an answer. You have to answer somebody at some point.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Nope.
Yeah. So that's and they showed footage, and granted, Jordan was saying wow, you threw yourself into elimination. I can speak from experience. That's not the best idea. But you're literally admitting that you have done the very thing that they've just done, and now you're being why would they do that? That's so stupid. It's so shady. It's blah blah blah. It's what do you?
At the very least, his reason for saying she shouldn't do it, he had a valid reason why. Don't do that. You're probably going to shoot yourself in the foot when you end up going down. At least he had a valid reason to be that was a dumb decision. Devin's reason was, well, that was a dumb decision. You just don't want people to think you're a bad person. Okay, why do you think she's a bad person?
Right.
Why am I a bad person?
Right. And when Aneesa, I didn't get Aneesa's thing either, because her argument made no sense to me at all. Devin's didn't make any sense either. But then Aneesa being Amber tried to act like this isn't just all about her. She's definitely just doing this for herself. And it's well, she's playing this game and using the strategy that she sees as best. I don't.
Are you implying that you're not making decisions to benefit yourself in this game for $1 million?
Yes, that's the game. That is the game.
Yeah. Only
even in the beginning of this episode, Kayce had made a comment oh, I know that Amber would throw me in the first chance she got, and it's where are you getting all of this from? Based on what? They're all crazy. Honestly, they're all crazy.
But yeah, that really was that was interrogation. That nothing else happened. Amber and Chauncey volunteered to go in, and then everybody shit on them, and then we went to the zone. So that's basically what happened.
Yep.
So I guess we want to move into this elimination here now.
Yeah, we're there.
Sure.
Let's get into it. So, no surprise, we get to the zone. Right away, Banani says that Amber and Chauncey volunteered to do this, so they're the direct vote. Were you surprised by this draw at all, Kyle? This dagger pull? Because we saw who was it? Who went first? It was Aneesa and Jordan went first. They pulled a blank dagger, and then Horacio and Olivia pulled a safe dagger. Did you think that the rookies were going to pull it? Did you think this was going to be fixed for one of the vet teams?
I don't think they care at this point.
Okay.
No.
But what about the decision itself? This mixed bag. Okay, mixed bag. Fair enough. I do genuinely want to ask you guys though about Horacio and Olivia's decision to save Devin and Tori over Aneesa and Jordan. What did you think of this? Was this the right move? Were you surprised by it? Because it seemed to me like Horacio and Jordan have been getting close. I know Horacio mentioned that both Jordan said his name and Aneesa said his name twice, actually, when she was on Fessy's team. But I thought that the relationship, it seemed like Horacio and Jordan were forming. I felt like they were going to save Aneesa and Jordan and send Devin and Tori in. But I don't know. What did you guys think? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I didn't really have any expectations one way or the other.
Yeah, I didn't expect anything. Because they've never really been in any position of power, so I didn't have any expectations. Yeah.
I guess for me, like the thing for me, like what I remember, right, with all this Tori and Jordan drama we've seen this season, one of the last things we saw was when Jordan seemed very shaken up in that elimination that got him sent home that night, actually. Like right before it, Horacio and Jordan had like a moment where they were kind of talking about Tori, and Jordan was kind of opening up to him, and it seemed like in their confessionals, especially like Jordan being like, Horacio is one of the best dudes that's come into this game, like so happy I met him, we're so tight. Like it seemed like their relationship felt pretty genuine, so I thought it was going to be like an easy decision, Horacio being like, no, we got to save Aneesa and Jordan, but I was completely wrong. But yeah, I have seen a couple of things. There's nothing confirmed, by the way, but it's just funny because we talked a little bit about Devin, right? Calling Amber shady, her last ditch effort to change the narrative, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. I forget who it was. It might've been Aneesa actually made a comment about Amber, like, oh, she's got so many deals with people, you can't even keep track of them anymore or whatever. But what's funny about this is that Devin's actually gotten into trouble a little bit on this season for making all these deals with people, 1 week deals, 2 week deals, blah, 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 whatever. Right. I actually saw something out there on Twitter. Who knows if it's real or not, but apparently Bananas was on a podcast, maybe his own, calling Devin a snake. And it almost makes me wonder if there was a deal worked out between Devin and Tori, Horacio and Olivia that we haven't seen yet. And that's why they ended up saving Devin and Tori.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But I hope that we find out something like that happened, because that would just make it even more pathetic of Devin to talk about Amber the way he does, being all shady and making deals. I mean, if he was literally making deals in the exact same episode where he's criticizing Amber for that.
Right. All we have seen this entire season is Devin double dipping and making deals over here, making deals over there. That's why we never see him in eliminations. We never see his name being brought up. It's been talked about multiple times on this season, which is why it drives me up a wall when he's like on this high horse of like, these shady people, as if he's not making deals with literally everybody.
Everyone.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. But yeah, Amber is shady though. Jeez. Amber's all these people
train. That's why I'm off the Devin train. I'm done. I'm done.
It really is crazy when you think about it. Like all these people in there backstabbing and making side deals and all this stuff. And the one move that everybody was so outraged over that Amber made this week was that she sent herself into elimination. How terrible she is.
Didn't screw over anybody else. Just said, yeah, you know what? I'll do it.
Yeah, like it's just unbelievable. I'm sorry. But anyway, we have our elimination here. Obviously, Amber and Chauncey. And then after the draw, we find out that it's going to be Aneesa and Jordan competing against them. And this one was called Rumble Tumble. All right. This is also, I think, Jordan's like 8th elimination in like 3 days or something like that. I think it's actually 4. Yeah, it's 4 in 3 days, but it's also 2 in one episode here, which seems like a lot. Yeah. Not to mention that mixed in with those 4 eliminations, he was also doing a daily challenge, and it seems like a very busy couple of days for him. But so basically, we're down in the sand here in the zone for Rumble Tumble, and this would be played in 3 rounds, basically. And first, this started off with Amber and Aneesa. They were strapped together with a rope on the back of themselves, and basically there were these 6 like stacks of like triangular blocks. Every other stack of blocks was a different color that would correspond to one of the players in the zone. And basically the objective was to knock over your stacks of blocks before the other opponent could, You know, right? So you had to knock over 3 stacks before your opponent did. What did you think of this elimination? I don't really remember this one. Have we seen this one?
I certainly haven't.
No, not quite like this, but I do feel like we have seen things where we have been
similar.
Yeah, like buckled together, like back to back,
Definitely,
and doing something. We have seen things like this before, but no, not this exact one. I don't believe.
Well, did you like this then? Is it kind of a newer?
It. I loved it. Yeah, very fun. Very fun.
Yeah. So this was a best 2 out of 3. I was hoping we'd get to a third round. I really was, but Aneesa, she dominated the first round against Amber.
She did.
Yeah, she took it 3-0.
Amber is just so teeny tiny. She did not stand a chance in a competition like this.
No,
right. This wasn't her competition, unfortunately.
No, it wasn't.
But yeah, Aneesa swept the first round. She took all 3 points in that first round, which meant that Aneesa and Jordan as a pair were now up 1-0 after round 1.
Yeah.
Jordan versus Chauncey. This was a much closer matchup.
Yes,
and it's interesting because Chauncey, they're very different mindsets too. Chauncey came in. He said he wanted to use his size, his strength to just sort of overpower Jordan. He didn't really have any other strategy other than that. Whereas Jordan was pretty much all strategy. And Chauncey is a big, strong dude. He really is. Because even though he wasn't really being strategic at all, he still got 2 points out of this. But in the end, Jordan just proving to be. Did you see? So it was tied up 2-2 after these 2 rounds with Jordan and Chauncey. But did you see in that third one where it was down to whoever gets their last stack here wins the round? That little ankle grab that Jordan did, it looked like Chauncey was trying to dig into the sand, and for Jordan to just have like that frame of frame of mind to just like in that split second, just if I just grab his ankle, he won't be able to dig in, and then I can make a break for it. Like Jordan is just physically,
his whole
mentally,
strategy in this competition was wild to watch.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like I never in a million years would have thought, okay, let him get one, because then it's easier for me to get to my next one. Like I would just be like, okay, well, gotta get my other one. Like the fact that he was like so calculated to be like, all right, well, I'm just gonna make this as easy for myself as I can. I just let him get that one, and then he's doing half of the work for me.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, damn.
Right. Yeah.
So smart.
Brilliant.
Smart.
Yeah. But wow. So Jordan won the round, and this meant that we did not need a third round because Jordan and Aneesa took the points from the first 2. So they won the elimination 2-0, which meant that Amber and Chauncey are now officially eliminated from the Challenge 38 Ride or Dies. Very sad to see them go. I love Amber and Chauncey. I became a fan of Chauncey on this season. I think he's just a nice guy. I don't know why. I just like him. Okay. Amber.
No one came at you. I don't know why you're getting so aggressive.
It's just my opinion, all right? It's just my opinion, okay? All right?
And nobody challenged it. Take a big breath.
No one's. Everybody's just sitting
I don't
here.
know why you are so angry.
Thursday.
You guys are being so mean to me. Jeez.
Whoa.
I don't know, I'm just being an idiot. I'm sorry. But yeah, I hope to see both of them back. Obviously, I definitely hope to see Amber back. She's a champ.
Amber will be back. She's gonna be
back.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta be honest though, like, because I think about her every time one of these episodes airs, because I can't imagine being at home and watching all the terrible things everybody is saying about you and being like, yeah, I'll go back and do it again. I'd be like, you know what?
True.
I'm good.
It's true. It is true. And I've thought about that. Like, she might get to a point where she's like, honestly, like, I just don't want to go and be in this house with these people anymore.
I can't imagine watching all of these conversations that you weren't in the room for and seeing what everybody's saying about her in these confessionals and being like, I just can't imagine.
I think that's why we're not going to see Big T for a while.
Oh, I know. Big T. I love Big T.
Oh, my God. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Big T is great.
Now she's a chef. Well, I mean, she always was, but she's just like doubling down.
Ah, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, congratulations.
I really do like Big T. Oh.
Yeah.
But I will say, I feel like everything you see on social media, if you go on Twitter, nobody seems to have like anything bad to say about Amber.
No.
Nobody can understand.
Lots of support.
So, and that is why I have hope. Yeah, that's why I have hope that she'll continue to do the show, because she does really have. She's won this game before. She's got a ton of support from like the fans of the show. And like, I would be interested. I wonder, like, if she was to come into the house next season and like a CT was there. You know what I mean? They won the final together. Like, I wonder if they, maybe he could help her somewhat. Like, I don't know.
Has she ever been? I mean, I'm sure she has at some point, but like, has she ever addressed this on any of the challenge podcasts that have like all of the players on? Have we ever heard her talk about this from her perspective?
So I'm a little annoyed with myself because I was thinking about trying to pull this and I just didn't have time. You guys should check this out. I want to check it out, the full thing too. Amber was on a podcast talking about how, the season was hard for her. And like it helped to have Chauncey, but like she said, in a house like this, especially in a competition, like if you're getting ready to go out for the club night, or if you guys are, if you're getting geared up to go for a daily challenge, she's like, yeah, it's great to have Chauncey. I love having Chauncey, but I also sometimes want to feel like I'm back at home and like we're getting ready for club night. I'm getting ready with the girls and like, we're getting ready to go out. And she said that she didn't really get to experience that because she would walk into a room and people would stop talking. Or like she's like experiencing some of that stuff, and I'll have to go back and try to find the tweet like from the clip that I heard. But I think you guys should check that out too. I really didn't hear much. It was a small little snippet, and I'm curious to see more of what Amber has to say. But I did hear at least that part. I'm so interested in
her like defense of herself against all of these like, oh, she's shady, oh, she's whatever, because people have a lot to say about her, and I very rarely hear her talking about it herself.
I saw her retweet somebody kind of saying like if I don't get it like an actual answer about why all these people treat Amber like this, like I'm gonna freak out. Like somebody tweeted something like that, and she actually retweeted it and just said like LMAO, I don't understand. Like that's what she wrote.
Yeah.
So like I don't think she gets it either. I really think that this is just a house full of people. And think about it. Like Devin talks all the time, right? Like new champs, new champs, new champs. So you would think that he'd be like happy that a rookie came in and shook things up and won, but it's just like further proof of his failure that he's been doing this for so many more years than Amber, and she's already won. And then I look at somebody like Aneesa. I love Aneesa. She's been on the challenge forever, but she's been doing this a long time. Never won. Amber comes in and takes it and does what they couldn't do in years of trying. And she does it, and so I feel like
it's just like it frustrates me because then like I hear the way that they all talk about Horacio, and it's like I don't understand what he's doing or what he's not doing that she did, what he's doing that she didn't do yet.
Yeah, well, yeah, not yet, but that's the thing. I'm sure everybody was much nicer to Amber before she won on her first season too. Like
I mean, that's a question for you guys. I wouldn't know, but
I don't even remember because I wasn't. I don't remember.
I feel like I remember
so long ago.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It feels like it was
right. I don't remember like specific things, but I do remember people still talking about Amber and kind of like including her in sort of like the Big Brother alliance sort of thing that was forming because more Big Brother people were coming. Like I don't know if everybody loved her and worked with her like super great in that first season, but like she was still considered part of that like Big Brother sort of group, whereas now I feel like she's just on an island in there by herself. It doesn't matter that she was on Big Brother.
Yeah, well, what came to mind when you were saying that was like she came into the game where, because Jose played the challenge. We had Paulie, we had obviously Josh, you had there were certain Davon. When these people were coming in, they really, nobody from the challenge liked these Big Brother people.
Right.
None of them were received well. And I feel like Amber was at the back end of that wave where none of those people really come back anymore. And then Amber won. So like, she's kind of like in that weird, like transitioning thing where like Kayce, because I guess the way she plays, they seem to accept her, and Fessy because they seem to be like they're more physical. I guess I don't know.
And Kayce now, I mean, Kayce is in a relationship with Nani, who's basically like challenge royalty. So everybody's gonna love Kayce. You know what I mean? Like Amber, she's I'm sure that if Amber went in there and started dating Johnny Bananas, everybody would be like, we love Amber. You know what I mean? Like, but she's not dating one of the OG vets on the show, like, so.
Yeah, it's interesting because, Fessy doesn't really get a lot of positive attention from them either.
They just can't beat him in a lot of these competitions. That's
right.
Not that they can always beat Amber either, but like
no, but they're more comfortable with Fessy because we all know that even when Fessy makes it to a final, his big kryptonite is that food. You know, he's going to have a problem, and all these old school challengers know that. So he's not exactly the threat that he, you know, kind of acts like he is. Amber is.
Right.
So it's a lot easier, I guess, to kind of discount Fessy. But, like, you know, he's not really received so great either. And I don't think that his social moves, while messy, have been so much worse than others. You know, he still always makes it to a final. So, I mean, how much can you say?
Is it the one time he didn't make the final was when he got kicked out because of that fight, right? I think that's the only time that he hasn't made the final.
Right. Otherwise, he's always been there. So,
yeah,
you kind of have to respect that.
Yeah. But hey.
But Amber is an actual threat.
I think it just sucks too, because you remember that last elimination that Amber won? We had kind of like a discussion, like, oh, maybe now some people will start to, you know, give her a little more respect or start to accept her a little more. And I had hoped, it felt a little bit like people were like talking more positively about her, but clearly that didn't last because they were angry with her.
And I remember us all saying like, oh, great, maybe now she'll finally get her flowers.
Right,
and immediately went right back.
But clearly that's not happening because the whole house was pissed at her because she made it less likely that they would go to elimination.
But then what gets me about that is that, you know, if she said somebody else's name and tried to throw somebody else under the bus, that would have been a problem. How dare you keep my name in your mouth? Blah, 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 blah. They would have gotten on her for that. So it's like, she's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't, because they would have been mad at her no matter what.
Yeah.
She can't do anything right.
Like if she had gone into interrogation and told Banani to put like Devin and Tori in as a direct vote, Devin would have been like, this is so typical of Amber. Meanwhile, she volunteers to go in. It's like, this is her last-ditch effort.
I feel like even if she went in and said, like, throw in Horacio and Olivia, they're vets, everyone would be like, oh, why are you coming? Or they're rookies, rather. They'd, like, get mad at her for that. For, like, trying to pick off the easy people. Like, it would be something, no matter what she said.
Yeah. No, it's ridiculous. But I'm sad to see her go. And Chauncey. Yeah. You guys have any other thoughts on that and this episode in general? Did I miss anything? Skip anything?
So. No.
All right. The next on, looks like there's some kind of ice bath involved in the daily challenge. Very cold. TJ did tell them also.
I was going to say, that was the only other annoying thing from this episode, is that he made it sound like he was going to announce the final was about to happen.
Oh, he does that. Like, he does that, though.
You're not going yet. And I was like, why? We've been watching the season for 7 years. Why are we not at the final yet?
Seriously, like,
I know. I agree. He does like to do that, though. He likes to like play
do it
like
6 months ago. Why are we still here?
Yeah. And it looks like Bananas could potentially be a pre-final target. There's some people looking at Bananas. They actually showed a little clip of him being like, I haven't been in elimination yet. You know, like he was like, I can't believe they're just letting me coast by. I think so, because Nani did go into elimination. That's when she beat Moriah in the So I think he might be at this point anyway, you know, the only person that hasn't
because I would have thought Devin and Tori, but if you said they went in day one, then he's got to be the only one.
I will say they eliminated Kayla and Sam. Thank you for getting rid of Kayla week 1.
Seriously.
But yeah, that's what I got for the next on. So I think that's all I got for this episode. We do have some announcements, some little housekeeping things to mention, right? So we've got a very fun night coming up tomorrow night, right? So tomorrow night, Friday night, 11:59 p.m. It's really midnight. We know that it's really midnight, like Saturday morning, technically, but just to avoid
probably
confusion.
end up being like 12:04.
Yeah, that's true.
But to avoid confusion.
Yes.
Yeah. But so tomorrow night, January 20th, 2023 at 11:59 p.m. We are planning to go live. We are definitely going live. We just don't know if it'll be at exactly 11:59 p.m. But it'll be within 5 minutes of that time. And we'll be talking about episodes 5 through 8 of The Traitors US, which we loved. Super excited for another midnight stream because those are always very fun.
Unhinged.
Midnight musings.
Wow.
Ooh, I like that a lot, actually. Wow. So yes, Traders episodes 5 through 8 tomorrow night, Friday night at 11:59 p.m. Monday we'll be wrapping up the Traders US season, talking about episodes 9 and 10. And we have something very special planned for that. Does anybody are we allowed to say anything? Do you guys want to? Are we allowed to talk about it?
I mean, they didn't say we couldn't. It's already on the YouTube, so go ahead.
It is. Oh, it is. Okay.
I had to
then
because
screw
I had
it.
to send a link. So
Yeah.
Sure, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, Gina, you connected us here to this person. So why don't you announce for the peoples
Sure.
what we'll be doing Monday night, which will be 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that is what is that? If Friday is the 20th, Saturday is 21st, that'll be the 23rd. Monday, January 23rd at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Gina, what are we doing that night?
Yeah, so we are going to be wrapping up the Traders, talking about the last 2 episodes, and we are going to be joined by Angelica Conti, who competed.
yeah.
Angelica!
Super excited.
Yeah. I'm really excited to talk to her. And so I forget if it was Instagram or Twitter, but she posted something because obviously, Rachel and Kate had this big feud, right? All season.
This is one of my favorite Angelica moments of the entire season.
Oh, so did you see this post? There's like a post, like a little clip of Angelica like sitting at the breakfast table, and it's that morning where Kate was like going after Rachel and like making fun of her outfit, and Rachel was like and Angelica just sitting in between both of them, like little things like that. I'm so excited to ask Angelica about.
It's gonna be so fun.
Yeah. Wow. So very exciting. That'll be Monday night, 9:30
Wow, so
p.m.
you're just knocking my outfit?
Yeah. So good. So good. And then and so that'll be wrapping up the Traders US with Angelica, and then next Thursday night, January 26th, we'll be talking episode 16 of the Challenge 38, Ride or Dies, the season that started 2 years ago.
God. If we're gonna go that far in advance, can we also mention that on January 30th we are going back down under? Okay, this is like way more important than like the finale eve. It's not more important. We love the challenge. Like, not only
is that the finale eve?
From what I've been reading, it does appear that is finale eve. Because
we also thought tonight was finale eve. So.
No, it looks like this is finale eve, and it's wrapping up on February.
February 1.
I wanted to say 1, but I don't think it's 1. But that first February Thursday, should be our final challenge stream.
All right, I guess we'll see. What if next episode TJ's like, so we were bringing in some legends early in the game.
No.
Now we're doing it again.
It is February 1. It is February 1 because Australian Survivor starts on the 30th, and then there's January 31. That's Tuesday. So then, yes, on February 1st, that should be that Wednesday. That should be the finale. That's what I read. That is what I read.
Okay.
Yes. So our final stream
I don't know.
should be the 2nd.
Finally getting there.
That's why Australian Survivor will be 10:30 that night, and then we can go back to 9:30. Yes.
Okay. So what will you do if next episode TJ's like, got one more surprise for you, Wes and John A, get out here, you're in the game.
I don't know, man. I think I might have to tap out at the challenge. Like, you know what, John and Gina, go on.
I'm so burnt out from talking about this season.
Seriously, this has to be the end.
Well, and I'm still enjoying the season itself, but it's the fact that we are now talking about this going on like 4 months. We just finished watching the challenge in Australia.
We have had 2 seasons of the challenge in between this one season of the challenge.
And then we still have the challenge Argentina and the challenge UK before the global challenge. And then when's the challenge 39?
I don't care.
Oh God.
And we have All Stars 4 coming up. We know that's filming
right.
now. Although
Yeah.
I am actually really
I am
excited.
looking forward to that.
Like that is a fucking sick ass cast. Leroy and Cam are coming back. Are you fucking kidding me?
I never
Like,
thought we were going to see it. I thought they were.
I didn't think we would see Leroy again. I knew we would see Cam again because Cam always told us, she goes, I'm not done. She goes, I stand by my man. I support him. We're going to go start this family, but I'm coming back. Like she always made that clear that she want to see her again.
And I always hoped she would.
Yeah.
I love Cam.
Yeah. So like I'm really fucking jazzed about All Stars 4. But that's why this one has to end so that we can like get some rest.
Take a break.
Rest. Yes.
Right.
Yes. There's better challenge to come.
Right. I think the only reason I'm surprised to see Cam back is just because it felt like they had been removed from the game for enough time that they had probably like moved on to other things and started like a their own lives together, and like it just felt like maybe sometimes you spend a couple of years like I feel like you spend a little bit of time away from something and you're like, oh, you know what, I don't really miss this that much. So like the fact, like I was worried that would happen. So the fact that we're not getting just Cam back either, but Leroy, like, oh my God, I'm so pumped.
Yeah,
so pumped.
Okay, let's go to bed.
Yeah, it's getting late. So any other last minute thoughts for the benefit of the community?
No.
Okay. Well, folks, thank you very much for watching and for listening. If you want to find us on the socials, you can do so at StratChatPod, or check out the website, www.stratchatpod.com.
Please do.
All right. Thank you, guys. This was a lot of fun tonight.
It's great.
Can't wait to talk about the traders tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, everybody. Time for bed.